All right. Hello, everyone. Let me get, you know what I gotta do. I gotta make sure we're good on Instagram. I gotta make sure that, you know, all the people can see what we're doing. Happy to be back. Happy to be here. It's been a few days. Um, Shout out to everybody. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to Instagram. I love you all so much. We have so much to get through today. So I'm so glad that you're here. Let me just remind the Instagram folks that they can join us on YouTube, where it's just a better situation. I say this every time, but I have so much fun with my YouTube crew that I kind of want the folks on Instagram to come and join us. What up, Katie? Good to see you. How you doing? We we are supposed to be we will be auditioning a provisional podcast partner today, okay? But before we get into that, because he's on his way, I just kind of want to update y'all on some things. Good to see everybody in the chat. I love this. I'm so not gonna get emo today. I am gonna get emo today. You all are just gonna have to deal with it. I appreciate you all so much. Oh, I'm so glad Maggie made it over finally from Instagram. You and see, and then I can show everybody that you're here and we can share this love and it's wonderful. No, it's good emo. It's good emo. Oh God, I'm don't make me cry. All right. First of all, I want everybody to know. Oh, there he is. Well, I'll bring him in a sec. Give me a sec, Doc, and I will bring you in properly. I got to meet Katie recently, um, and it was after I survived two car accidents. And so if you don't follow me on other socials, I know sometimes people just subscribe to YouTube's and they do that. If you don't don't follow me on socials, you don't know that I was in two car accidents last weekend. My movements are not going to be as fluid, although I am putting some cannabis in me, and that kind of helps. But I'm actually in quite a bit of pain, and but I'm pushing through. I'm pushing through. That's what I do. And the day that I had the accidents, I had planned a meetup for writers in Pittsburgh, and I was going to cancel, but I knew that Katie and another woman, Tracy, were going to be there. They crowdfunded and people supported them coming out because they wanted to meet me and let's talk. And so I pushed through, and I was so glad that I did. Um, there were other people that were there, and it was just a really amazing time to kind of sit and be in community with other creators. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to do this. I'm going to try to do this around the country. We have to build community any way that we can. I talk about this all the time, y'all. We can't rely on these machines, this surveillance. It's just doing too much. And we have to be in person. We have to get around each other as much as possible. Many of us have disabilities, many of us have limitations. I have agoraphobia. It those car accidents did not help. That's all I'm going to say. And I've been having a very difficult time with all of this. But we have to do this. We have to build this community. We have to be okay. So I am very much interested in connecting with more of you. Probably going to do the next one in Philadelphia. It makes the most sense, right? Somebody in New York asked me if I can come to New York, so I might come to Brooklyn. I got a recommendation for Baltimore. Also had somebody say, "What about Chicago?" So I actually would love to do that. So I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. Relatively okay. I will say that. But I wanted to come and again be in community with you all. And so you guys show up for my lives and you're here and I see you in the chat. And it really makes me feel good. It makes me feel alive. Um, and I'm gonna clean my nose. Like, what the fuck? I have like a fucking booger in my nose. It's gross. This is like nose ring, but I'm like, I don't have a nose ring over here. What is that in my nose? Okay, sorry, yeah. So here we are. All right. So um are you all ready? Like, I'm doing something new. Like, I am opening my space and allowing someone else to join. You all are going to give me the thumbs up or the thumbs down because I protect this space and can't just let anybody just come up in this space. but we've mentioned this person before. I'm going to add him to the stage. But also, I'm going to tell you all who this person is. So before you start talking, I'm going to introduce you.
Okay.
So everybody, this is Dr. Richie Hall. Okay, he is a psychologist and he is known for his dedication to mental health advocacy. I've actually gotten to know him quite well in recent weeks, and so I'm really kind of excited. I hope he does okay, because if he doesn't, if he like ruins my show, then like what are we doing? But he's also awesome. Okay, so he's the president of the Cincinnati Association of Black Psychologists. He champions Afrocentric mental health care. You guys know I'm all about the Afrocentricity. He has been on television, and guess what? We have a clip.
Oh no,
we do.
I did not know there would be clips.
There's going to be clips. Of course, there's clips. Hold on, everyone. We have a clip. Okay, so we're going to play the clip.
In Cincinnati, aimed at helping bring resources to Black men.
WLWT News 5's Lindsay Stone joins us live with a closer look at one man's mission to break the stigma. Lindsay?
Well, we know there can be a lot of stigma surrounding mental health, but a local man is trying to change that. He's launching a support group aimed at targeting a demographic where access has been a challenge.
Black males are the least likely group of any demographic to seek out mental health services.
New data shows suicide rates among Black men are climbing.
When we are experiencing depression and anxiety,
that's not him.
Equivalent or
Steven.
That's
white male counterparts.
Oh my God.
That is the motivation behind a new support group.
It's going to be about just getting support, right? Giving them the opportunity.
That's him, guys.
Open up about what's going on with them.
It's pretty smart.
Rich Hall started the group after noticing the increasing demand in our area and few options for people to get help quickly.
A lot of those different stigmas and barriers make it very difficult for people to be even okay with the idea of seeking treatment. And then if we put on top of that, like just the ideas people have about math,
I'm going to bring that up.
Comfortable as a man.
The group will meet once a month to start, offering a safe place to share and get help.
I knew when I came up with this is kind of a novel thing, and it's going to be weird for some people even to show up in that room, and they're going to get weirded out. But I do think there's still a value to it.
Hall hopes this is the first step in making resources more available and changing the conversation surrounding mental health.
Okay, so we can, knock it off. This is my show.
Yeah.
So I just wanted you all to know, right, that I'm not bringing a slouch on the show, and he's still auditioning. So that's what we have to do.
It's only right.
Like, he looks familiar. It's my show. No, it's just fucking my show. Get out of here.
That's my show. And Aries. That sounds
right.
Great.
So because I am auditioning a provisional podcast partner, I've done radio shows before. I've had podcasts before. I know as a professional in this space, gotta have a docket. So what we're going to do today, everyone, is we are actually going to go through the list of topics. I pulled together some topics just to see how he can handle it, right? Like,
sure.
Can he bounce around? Can he keep up with my frenetic pace and my style? You all will give a thumbs up or listen, if they say thumbs down, bro.
Hey, do I just get dumped in the middle of the show? I might get like the Sandman Sims will come walking into the back and pull me out.
Do these people know
pull me off stage?
Yeah, they might. Okay. So all right, so let's talk about Katie's husband, Luigi Mangione. All right.
Yes.
So, again, Luigi Mangione is being heralded as a hero of the people. Now, where's my banner? I gotta put up
Robin Hood for these troubled times.
Allegedly, he shot a CEO. We don't know if that actually happened.
We don't know.
The man has not been convicted of any crime.
Yeah.
In the United States, you are innocent until proven guilty.
Yes. Yes.
Even though the decisions are guilty and not guilty versus guilty and innocent. You're innocent until
allegedly.
So allegedly, he opened fired in the middle of a New York street.
Yes.
And popped three in his
with a handmade
ass.
Yes.
Yeah. With a handmade gun. Wait, what? It was 3D printed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
3D printed, and he kept it on him?
Kept it on him. Because why did he keep it on him? I think we talked about this before. I think because people were saying that he's probably going to do something else. It was probably someone else. Your man got Starbucks, and did he get Chipotle? What else? He stopped for something else.
I just remember the Starbucks. I didn't remember that he stopped for anything else.
McDonald's.
Well, no, he was captured at McDonald's.
Oh.
So McDonald's is who dropped the dime on him. McDonald's is the one who's out here snitching.
Because he stopped at the McDonald's, right?
Yeah, yeah. So when like days later in Altoona, Pennsylvania, he stopped at McDonald's because he really wanted some hash browns, and they snitched at the McDonald's. But Starbucks didn't snitch. Starbucks knows they're good, right? McDonald's was tripping.
And the person who dropped the dime ain't even getting the reward money.
Ain't even getting the money, which a comedian said was it sounds a lot like trying to file a claim with United Healthcare, trying to get that reward money, because it was like, let's talk about it first.
No, that's denied. Denied.
The irony is like oh my God.
Wait, what?
Yeah, the employee got fired because they was getting too much heat.
I am out of the loop. Are you kidding me?
Descended onto the McDonald's and started giving them 1-star reviews and saying they sucked. And so they was like, you know what? You brought too much heat to the McDonald's. And as I said, this story is so 2024. This story is so corporate America class war 2024. A wage worker at McDonald's tries to do the right thing by invoking justice and get themselves consequences from their corporate overlords. Like, you couldn't make this up if you wanted to.
Oh my!
Don't call 911 on the clock. That's right. You brought too much heat to McDonald's. You're costing us. McDonald's is already in a bad place financially. Like, they are struggling.
Right.
So what you can't do is ruin the franchise by dropping a dime on the clock.
This is not a plug, but I really love Uncle Arnie's THC juice. It's not a plug.
All
right, so
the show.
So, but let's talk about him though, because there are some updates. We so they're charging him with terrorism.
Yes, overreach. They had 40 cops walk him to the plane. Like, can we look at that? Let's go look at that. Let's actually look at that. The police force showed up to walk him.
No, let's look at that. I actually have footage. Come on, I have footage.
They were walking Superman to the plane himself. Like, they wanted to.
Let's show the people. Can you not jump ahead? Oh my God, thumbs down. Thumbs down.
Am I jumping ahead?
Yes, thumbs down. Thumbs down.
I didn't know.
No, you totally did.
Oh man,
that's what you totally did. It's fine. Look at your man.
They had fewer escorts for Superman. That's right.
Look at your man.
The entire NYPD showed up.
Butch Ware said it looked like he's getting the Hannibal Lecter treatment.
Yep. That's what I saw.
The performance of this. This is so stupid. Katie, look at your man. Look at your man.
He's wearing the orange though.
Now everybody noticed that he doesn't have a beard, right? This is an Italian, and he's a clean-faced Italian right now. They let him shave, or they shaved him. Let me tell you something.
Somebody got him right.
Let me tell you something. Okay, I just need you all to understand. Watch for the hook. Keep your head on a swivel. Why the fuck they got him looking all cleaned up, looking extra good? Like, come on. He got a cut in jail. Right. That's some real shit. That's some real shit.
Freshly trimmed.
Okay, yeah. Come on. What are we doing?
Freshly trimmed.
Fresh. So I'm just like, did you freeze? You look like, okay, no, you're good. All right. No.
I'm still moving.
Why? He should have a full beard by now. They said this
he's wearing the orange.
Absolutely.
The trial's going to be awesome. Like, it's going to be American cinema.
I'm not even attracted to white men, and I'm saying, listen,
you gotta say that's a good looking man.
That's a good looking man. Doesn't matter what your sexual orientation, identity, race, it don't matter. It's a good looking.
He turns heads out here. He's out here doing it. He's
turning it right. So I don't know what's going on, right? But absolutely not. So do people understand? He murdered someone in broad daylight. That's fine.
Allegedly.
I don't know if he did it. I wasn't there.
No one knows.
I mean, they're talking about it on the media, but I wasn't there, so I cannot confirm. Allegedly, he killed a guy, right?
Cannot confirm or deny.
How often are people who kill people charged with terrorism? So they're justifying it by saying he had a manifesto, or they're just no. Dylan Roof had a manifesto. Was Dylan Roof charged with terrorism? Have any of these mass shooters? I mean, I think it might be actually. Somebody fact check me. I do think there was like one or two that were charged with terror, but for the most part, they go into these places and they shoot them up with these AR-15s, and they have manifestos, or they look at their social media and all that stuff.
Dylan Roof was trying
terrorism.
Right.
What is terrorism if not a mass shooting that terrifies an entire community and makes them afraid to leave their homes?
A shooting or school shooting, right? Right. If you
church, houses of worship. Come on, music festivals, like where people find joy, where people kind of go. Those are acts of domestic terrorism. But if we were to name each one, if everybody were to be charged with terrorism, then the United States would have to admit that it has more homegrown terrorists and more struggles they face more danger from homegrown terrorists than from anybody outside. And all that, foreign fear mongering goes down the toilet. Katie said he was in her bed. That's what I think.
I
mean, that's what I think. And we talked about all these theories.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that was him. They've shown like 83 different people.
Right. No, yeah.
Richie said he was light skinned. They tried to say you did it, Dr. Hall.
I was going to say light skinned brothers was out here. Yeah. No, I was on alert for a day.
You were on alert because they said a light skinned man.
Hey, because we're all used to fitting the description. Men like myself, we fit a description before, so it was like, is it just open season on us?
I don't know. Somebody fact check. When was the last time the feds even charged someone with terrorism before this? Somebody go fact check that real quick and bring it to us. Oh, so yes, because they'd have to acknowledge white male terrorism. Right. And so, my theory about the maintenance of white male supremacy is that it doesn't matter what white men do, even if the collective finds it abhorrent and just kind of, this is awful. They will never punish them the same way because they want to send the message that white men can do whatever they want to do by virtue of being white men. Therefore, they reinforce that by more harshly punishing other people that do the same things as white men, right? And so, a white man can shoot his wife, he gets 5 years. A black man shoots his wife, he gets 10. A Latino man shoots his wife, he gets 10. A Native man shoots or Asian, whatever, he'll get 10. This is all to reinforce that the white man is right and okay and can do, really can't do any wrong.
Default
and everybody else, you know what I mean? So I feel
like you just have so much empathy, right? When someone mentioned Dylan Roof, like the idea that he went to McDonald's, it was like they said it when they were putting Dylan Roof. I remember this being a statement like, he reminds me of my kid, right? Like, the white officer was like, he just seems like a guy I know, right? Like, and that's often the case when it comes to these criminals, particularly the white ones. They're treated as if they are, no, I can see the humanity in this person. This reminds me of someone I went to school with, someone who lives across the street from me. And so very often when a crime is committed, and so it's, once again, you're kind of unearthing something there, right? Like it being an Italian and the fact that Italians weren't exactly originally accepted into whiteness. Like, he might fit.
It took a while for Italians to get into white, to be able to be considered white here.
Right. So the fact that Luigi Mangione, full-blooded Italian name, might get the terrorism label. There was a time that would have caused a whole riot in this country that an Italian killed an upstanding businessman. That would have been a whole thing.
That's why we need to watch for the hook. We need to watch for it because something else, again, we're talking like far right Christian waspy nationalism, right? Italians are not wasps. And they're really trying to create this. And the fact that you're right, he has this full-blooded Italian name. His parents dared keep that legacy alive. They did not assimilate their child. They came here, they made money in this country and dared keep that alive. You're not supposed to do that here, right?
Oh, you got to assimilate. Melting pot. You got to melt into the pot.
They should have named him Jackson. with an X.
Chet.
But also, how does pretty privilege play into this too? Just think, no, you're right. They're gonna take his ass out because he's cute. I think he's gonna be America's.
He'll be America's sweetheart if he does the right thing at trial.
He's Katie's sweetheart. So
he's obviously right. So he's already won him over.
So we're just updating you. I just also want you to know that the mayor of New York City was there for his perp walk. I want you all to just really linger with the absurdity of all of this. Like, what is even going on? This was all theater. Again, we call this political theater with Dr. T. This was political theater. That video that you all just saw, all those fucking photos that have come out. Everyone is trying to get that Pulitzer. They're all like, you know what I mean? The photos, fucking glamour shots. Okay, talking about like, I mean, we're talking editorial, like fucking fashion shoot. Okay,
right.
He looked good in an orange jumpsuit. Like, what is happening? What is even happening?
He was wearing that orange. Wearing it. Serving.
Sachet Shantae, nigga. Like, what?
Serving looks.
And I can call him that because he's Italian. He's an Italian nigga. Like, it's what it is. All right.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
There was a time we were adjacent.
This is a professional man here who is on my show, and now I'm doing cousin. There goes his reputation. I'm not going to put your name in the comments when I.
Oh, you're fine. You're fine.
Because if they search and find, and then you look bad, and you know. So okay, so far, put a 1 in the comment if you like what he's saying so far. 2 if you think he needs more work. Okay, let's move on.
Oh wait.
Yes. H&M will have Luigi.
Orange.
It will be called
Luigi Orange.
It'll be
called Luigi Orange.
Yes. All right.
So is it a 1 if I get to stay or a 2 if I gotta go? Which is it? I don't remember. I've seen a lot of 1s. I'm hoping this means I get to stay on the air.
They like you, and 2.
Okay, good. We're good. I'm still on the show.
All right, so kind of want to talk about this. Have you guys heard the term coconut pilled?
No, that sounds like it could be dirty. What are we talking about?
Sorry, I need more weed. I'm sorry. Coconut pilled.
Coconut pilled. What is that?
People who want to see Kamala Harris run again. So I've been hearing. I can remove my allegedly banner. Because
because we're no longer talking crime.
I'm not talking about our superhero of Gotham. Fucking Batman. I don't understand why nobody has turned Luigi into Batman yet. Like, come on.
Yeah. She's a Batman image.
So, senior Democrats aren't ruling out Kamala Harris as a presidential candidate for 2028. I'm sorry.
What?
That's ridiculous. I'm sorry. But not all of them are fully endorsing the idea either. I'm reading from Politico right here. Some want to show respect for the outgoing vice president, but there's a sense of skepticism about her future prospects, right?
She's not ready for prime time. I'm sorry.
That was a disaster of a campaign.
I mean,
what are we talking? Oh wait, what do you think was good? Okay, what do you think was good about it?
Not necessarily a disaster. I think she did the best she could with a very bad hand. Failed on multiple levels to connect with the American people in a way. Not ready for prime time. But I often think in terms of like, what would I do if I had 100 days to try and be president? I would have done worse. They could have picked someone better, but ultimately, I'm going to give it the benefit of she tried.
So I heard this too. I heard that she might run for governor in California. I think that she could stay over there. I'm not sure what she would. No, California is kind of her lane. Like, she knows California. She's been, you know what, like 20 years of corruption in California already. She's prepared for the job. Like,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Bring the banner back up.
What the hell? This is the woman who wouldn't release people from prison because Cal Fire needed firefighters. I mean, let's be honest here. Like,
So you don't think a bid for California governor wouldn't be a bid to essentially capture enough of America's imagination to try for presidency a second time, or
I think,
or a third time? This would be a third run at it. How many times can you fail at a job before you try to get hired? Like, for real? Like, I
If
don't know
you're
how
white,
your
you
pride
can do
is
it
set
as
up.
many. If you're a white man, you can do it as many
Right,
times
right.
as you
And
want.
guess what? She's not. Guess what? She's not.
She damn sure tried to be.
Yeah.
Well, you said governor's better. You know, I do. Sometimes I think that there are certain people who don't need to
hmm
be on the main stage. They
Hey.
do amazing work where they are. I think Tim Walz is great from Minnesota. I
Yeah. Oh.
think, you know, who else am I thinking about? Oh, Elizabeth Warren. I would have
hmm
liked to see her on the main stage, but also she's great in Massachusetts. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
Massachusetts has got, I mean, Massachusetts be topping the chart, top 5 in most of the American outcomes. I mean, come on, you know, like
hmm
they're
hmm
doing some good things. So sometimes it's, you know, whatever. But so
Yeah.
but this idea of being coconut pilled, right? This
Where's that
motif of
name coming
coconut.
from? Where did
So
that come from?
the
Because
coconut thing is, I think it was something her mom was talking about, and I don't know. I just know that coconut was once a derogatory term
right,
for South Asian people or brown people
right. Like
who
I'm
were
like, wait, that's
trying
right.
to be like they were white, kind of like Oreo, like what we would
Like
use for black,
Oreo. Right,
black on the outside, white on the inside,
right.
or like
That
Twinkies
sounds horrible.
for Asians was like yellow
Yeah,
on the outside, white on the inside.
yeah.
And I don't know how that came in. I think it was something related to her mom. Let's
Mm.
see, Kamala coconut tree. Let's see what this was.
hmm
So the coconut tree, they said a bizarre quote, "You think you just fell out of a coconut tree." And that was related to oh wait. Some supporting Harris have referred to her candidacy as Operation Coconut Tree and said they're coconut pilled. They used the coconut emoji. But where was that from? It
hmm
was, I thought it was something from like her mom was making a context. None of us just live in a silo. Everything is context. Da, 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 da. My mother used to, she would give us a hard time sometimes. And she would say to us, "I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree." So that's where that comes from. So I knew it was something from
Okay.
her mom. Like her mom said something about, "Do you think you just fell out of a coconut tree?"
Mm.
Okay, yeah, it was a
I feel
quote
like
that her mom.
I feel like I'm like recalling vague racism around the term, kind of like we were talking before. That it was one of those derogatory terms that they're
Oh no,
taking
she
back
is
on.
absolutely a terrible person. No, I'm sorry. Like you all know, you've been watching me long enough. Like I'm
Yeah.
not voting for her. She's a mess. And then it wasn't just about the Palestine. When she ran the first time, remember everybody had those yellow circles in their avatars, and we're talking about K-Hive. I didn't support her back then, and
Mm,
I caught hell for that. Right? I caught hell. People were just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I was
mm,
like, "No." I looked into what she did. So Cal Fire, Foster Sesta, denying gender affirming care. Yes, all these things happen. Again, that's why I'm not surprised by who we saw on the main stage. And all these
mm.
people that are going around, you know, especially like these Black women talking about I'm part of the 92%. I'm like, that's not actually something to be proud of, but go ahead, rock on.
Oh,
You were supporting
solidarity.
somebody. I mean, solidarity, like if your solidarity relies on you, you know, voting for neoliberalism, you know, okay, sure. Um,
Oh, oh.
anyway,
Look at you,
um,
wanting us to be free.
want to hop to something a little more, and real quick, I'm not going to spend much time with this. Giselle Pellicott, we know her husband was sentenced. Let me just open this up. Her husband was sentenced to 20 years, which was the maximum
Mm,
sentence for those who don't know.
mm.
Let me share this because I'm gonna share this video real quick. Oh, I have it over here. Sorry.
Terrible crime. This is a
Terrible crime.
horrible crime.
Just share. What am I doing here? Am I doing this one? Or is it this one?
And that was the maximum penalty that he got. 20
So yeah,
years.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tripping, y'all. Okay, sorry. I'm trying to share this. Here we go. Because I know I had the video up. Okay, here we go.
Sur le côté. C'est avec une profonde émotion que je m'exprime aujourd'hui devant vous. Ce procès a été une épreuve très difficile et à cet instant, je pense en premier lieu à mes 3 enfants, David, Caroline et Florian. Je pense également à mes petits-enfants parce qu'ils sont l'avenir et c'est aussi pour eux que j'ai mené ce combat ainsi qu'à mes belles-filles, Aurore et Céline. Je pense aussi à toutes les autres familles touchées par ce drame. Je pense enfin aux victimes non reconnues, dont les histoires demeurent souvent dans l'ombre. Je veux que vous sachiez que nous partageons le même combat.
Okay. That's what I wanted to share because if you're not aware, Giselle was a woman whose husband for a decade drugged her and arranged for her to be sexually violated by dozens of men. And 51 of them were convicted, along with the husband. The maximum sentence was 20 years, and that's what he got. Others were ranging 8 to 10 years. You know, there's different levels of things, right? Yeah, there's so much that could be said. Absolutely horrific. And I didn't, you know, I issued a, you know, trigger warning, all this stuff like that. I apologize for that. But what is important, and I think what we're seeing with this case that is different than anything I think we've seen in ever, really, but it all definitely not in my consciousness, is that the blame and shame has been put on the men, right? So in the United States, we know that about 1% of rapists and sexual assailants actually are convicted and go to jail, you know, anything like that. That is by design, right? Because again, we live in a patriarchal society that believes men are entitled to women's bodies, and therefore rape is not actually a real thing, right? And so even when you watch these court cases and these trials and things like that, and you hear how these people are talking about it, you see the conversations, even the outcomes, what you see is still a bit of understanding, right? Like, oh, that's so wrong, it's so awful, but I could see how that could happen, right? Happens a lot with domestic violence too. You know, that's wrong, you should never hit a woman, but I understand what made him do it, right? There's always that tinge of that. And the burden of proof is always on the victim or survivor, however they frame it. And that is why we have so many people get away with these horrific crimes, gender-based violence, right? Because it's very difficult to provide enough proof, right? Look at the Diddy situation. People were on his side, on his side, on his side. Even when Cassie came forward, it wasn't until they saw a video that they were like, oh, okay.
Yeah, he might actually be a bad person.
He might actually be a bad person.
I don't know though.
And
what did she do?
I don't know. I'm not sure. What did she do? Exactly. Why was she? I saw somebody say, well, why was she leaving the room? That's probably why he had to go and get her, because she was trying to run away from him. Why was she running away?
Yeah.
Like, are you just not thinking? Like, I don't understand.
We normalize a certain amount of sexual or physical assault and violence from men that is just, you know.
That's the expectation, that men will be this way and that women are supposed to accept it, right? So for the first time, though, this woman, she said, I'm not doing a private trial. I want it open to the media and to the public.
Be public.
I want everyone to know what he did and what all of these men did and their savage depravity. I want everyone to know. And for once, the entire world is like, you sick. This is disgusting. How could you do this? Like, you know, the whole world, like the media, there was media from all over the world. I was listening to NPR and she was saying, you know, I'm out here. She's like, there's hundreds of people from media around the world because the depravity of this. And somebody had asked online, they were like, you know, what kind of depravity is? I said, it's the same one that colonizes people. This is a colonizer mentality. This is how they act. They are savages. They are barbaric. It requires you be like Dominic Pellicoat to have that. And so what it also uncovered, not uncovered, but I tell you all the time, every single day in the United States, someone is being bought and sold here, right? This happens. He went on the dark web and basically advertised and said, you can come and do XYZ to my wife, she'll be
Do whatever
unconscious.
you want.
You
Yeah.
could have this thing. And that there were like 70 men who married, fathers, everything.
All sorts of people. Yeah.
Who were just like, yeah, I want to do this.
Yeah. And he recorded it.
And he recorded it.
He kept the files of his own crime, as people like him tend to do. And that was one of the ways they were able to catch, because otherwise, how could you catch that many people? There could be more that could not be caught for this crime, but because he kept records of his crime, they were able to track down many of the people who engaged in this act and brought them to light as well. But it's a very, like, I'm flabbergasted at the level of like depravity here. This is horrible. This is a horrible crime.
She knew something was up because she was losing her hair, losing weight, and starting to have other things. He was drugging her so much that it was making her physically sick. Like, I don't understand.
I can't even.
It's you know, okay, so talk about the obsession with recording these disgusting acts. I mean, yeah, R. Kelly did it. Diddy did it. So many have done it because they want to continue to watch themselves doing this. They enjoy that. They enjoy
the victimization.
They enjoy the victimization because
they want to show it to other people.
Yeah. It gives them power. It gives them control, right? You look at someone like an R. Kelly who was sexually abused as a child and functionally illiterate, right? Loss of control, tons of control, right? Can't read. That is, you have no control in this world when you can't read. He needed control. He needed to feel that. Look at someone like Diddy. I'm not trying to be that person. Very small penis, horrible bad breath. Nobody wants to be around him because his breath is so bad, but also nobody wants to fuck him because his penis is so small. So he had to get to this powerful place and then basically punish people. That's how he experiences that power, right? So again, like kind of looking at this, I'm thinking to myself, did she make more money than him? Like what was it? What did she do that
I don't know that she did. He was a horrible person.
I just think not that she's to blame, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just like what existed in his life that he needed to take this power and do this to her. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I just whatever. So okay, so that happens. You know, to me, justice is a bullet between the eyes. I'm sorry. Like, I got to say it. Like, 20 years is nothing.
20 years is not enough.
That's why I'm an abolitionist.
It was the maximum in France.
Right.
But
there's no penalty that's going to, you know, he needs a bullet right between the eyes. Okay, cool. But speaking of that.
At 72, he won't likely get out, but still.
Right. But he could live to 92 because that's kind of what people do. All right. So I'm going to show you all something else equally disturbing. Not equally.
We're just going to follow up with more disturbing. We're in the disturbing portion of the show.
We are, but we're going to end with brevity.
Light. We're gonna come up. We're going to just dip down low here for a second.
Brevity is the wrong word.
Levity. Levity is the word.
Brevity and levity. Yeah. Brevity, levity.
Levity. You got it.
I've been drinking.
You're fine.
You're
not. Fine. We're rocking and rolling.
Okay.
You're not fine. The show's fine. You might not be fine, but the show's going fine. I think. Drop a 1 in the chat if you think Dr.
Oh, look, he's taking over my fucking show. Oh my God. Okay, hold on.
Support Dr. T.
No, stop. Hold on.
For a new family.
Hold on.
No,
Alicia
is a very special and very sweet young lady who is looking for her forever family. She describes herself.
It's a parade like no other. Abandoned children desperately selling themselves to win over a new family, a new start.
She also likes drawing and doing arts and crafts.
And in the audience, sizing them up to find a perfect match, are their potential parents.
Okay, Michaela, you look so cute.
It is distressing, tragic, and completely legal. Here in the US, it's a phenomenon known as rehoming, where, along with matching events, troubled kids are advertised like goods on eBay and given to anyone who'll take them.
Oh, no.
Mostly they're adopted and often wear the scars of abuse and neglect. Most disturbingly, their parents have decided they no longer want them.
desperate people do stupid things and desperate things. There should be legal structures and social structures and professionals who know what the hell they're doing around all of this. If it's not, if we don't protect vulnerable children, who do we protect?
Listen. Okay. I'm gonna let you start. You're the doctor.
I'm a doctor. This is totally like, so I worked with children. I worked for 6 years for a place that was once called St. Joseph's Orphanage and is now called New Path because because people don't like the word orphanage anymore. But to me, this is like stomach turning because I know how desperate children like that are for love and connection and family. And so to make them parade for it, to make them perform for it is like, so I want to say the word tone deaf, but is there a bigger word than that? Like, oh my God.
Disgusting.
Disgusting. Yes, absolutely. But also just completely insensitive to, the need. And, I think the doctor there said it. I assumed he was a doctor because he's wearing glasses. He's a white man in glasses, and they were asking him for his expertise. But the idea that he was saying, and I've talked about this before in some of my other avenues, it's the idea that like we need structures for these types of things, for social services, often lowest rung on the ladder of what we provide to the community. And those of us who work in these fields know how down people are, how much the needs are there, and that there are no systems, no structures to help with that. And that functionally as a society, we just ignore these kids. Like they are shoved into corners because they're difficult. They are often emotionally disturbed, traumatized, and we just kind of, act as if they're not there, and we seek to ignore the problem. And as a society, we should be held to task for what we do for a Christian society to not how it treats the least of these is like, that's written in the book, guys. Like, you're supposed to be like taking care of children and women and like the people that make up your society. Like,
wait, are you saying that women are the least of us?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying
sounded like what you
in
said.
The book. That's not what I was saying.
I heard you say that they should be taking care of the least of us, and I heard you mention women.
Patriarchy and
is that what
Christian
you're saying?
Values. No, I'm just saying.
Do you understand what show you're on?
Protected class. That's all I'm saying.
Wow, the audition just went left.
Oh no! Drop a one in the chat if I'm still
No, don't drop nothing. Don't drop nothing. Do not.
Women and children first. That's where it came from in my head. I wasn't saying.
Okay.
Women. I do believe all people should be protected. Definitely, we should act as if.
Oh, so now it's all lives matter.
Oh, like, Jesus!
So you're throwing men in there? Men need to be protected too. Like,
I mean, ultimately, we should protect all citizens of these United States.
He just all lives matter. This.
Or
goddamn children are being pageanted.
Yes, that's horrible. Can we get back to the subject?
You stop talking. I'm going to jump in. You got a 2. Jeez. There's a 2 in the chat. There's a 2 in the chat.
Katie, I thought we were cool.
2
Katie.
in the chat. No,
we were doing well.
No. So you stop talking. This is my thought. Okay, so how many times have I told y'all? I tell y'all been following me online for a long time. Slavery in the United States is real.
Oh, absolutely.
You just saw it, right?
Mm.
That was a slave auction. That was an auction. Okay. That was a parade of human beings to be purchased by the highest bidder or whoever wants that, right? There's no other way to describe that, right? That is what it is. But what makes this worse is that these are children that other people adopted and don't want no more.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
I could do a whole show on this.
Yes.
But this idea, they struck down abortion acts, federal abortion protection, because they said, what are white parents going to do? There are parents that want to adopt. What are they going to do if there are no children for them to adopt? That's how they were thinking about this, right? The entitlement to parenthood, right? This is what we talk about in reproductive justice and things like that. This white entitlement to parenthood, that people will spend $50,000 for a newborn white baby.
Mm.
They will go online, again, dark web. There are sites where young people are selling their children. I'm pregnant. Who wants it? $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
Like this happens. I don't need my tinfoil hat, y'all. Like this is a very real thing that happens.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
People are buying and selling babies. The foster care system is them paying people to take these children in, and so many face abuse in these places. We are paying people to abuse these children. One of my dreams is to become a foster mom, right? As soon as I get this kid out, you know, but that's one of the things I said when I turned 50, I would love to do that. I would love to be a foster mom to the older kids, right? The ones ages 14 until emancipation. For the last few years, show them love, give them guidance, give them direction. If they want to go to college, help them do that. Like, I want to be able to do that because they deserve that, not because I feel entitled to be a parent, right? And there are people walking around who feel entitled to it. And so they think they could just go and just buy children.
Mm-hmm.
This is the society we live in. These people are going to these fucking auctions. They are adopting these kids for abuse. No different than the enslavers who were buying young Black girls to rape, young Black boys to rape, to torture. They bought them for that, not for their land, to clean their house or to pick their cotton, but purely for abuse. That is what happens. And we don't want to think about it. We don't want to talk about it because it's too harsh, right? No, this is the depravity of the savages in this country and around the world. There's an entire genre of porn that is about adopting older foster kids, bringing them into the home and having sex with them, y'all. Like, I know some of you don't want to hear this. Why do I know this? Because I study all this stuff. I'm very interested in this stuff. What is going on? It's a whole genre of porn. There are thousands of videos about adopting girls from the foster care system. And the gay ones have started to do it too, adopting boys from the foster care system to bring them home for sex. Where do we think that idea comes from? This is what happens. Yes, porn shows us a lot of what is happening culturally. Same where there's border patrol porn, right? All the porn about people trying to cross the border and having to have sex to get across the border happens all the time. That's where we live. Now, I was watching this, and I was like, this is why I didn't get into children when I became a social worker, because I'm just like, if I find this out, bullet between the eyes, and then I'm in jail.
Yep. Yeah.
The Aries in me. Bullet between someone's head. And then I go on. Oh, you know, Miss Taylor, what you do? You know, you can't do that. You can't actually kill people when they abuse children. Says who?
Society.
But I'm just saying that would be me. I'd be like,
yeah.
Then Katie got to be like, that's my wife. Free my wife.
Choose. Right.
All right, let's keep it moving. That was heavy. Heavy.
Heavy. Kids, someone think of the children.
So let's talk about the TikTok ban, okay?
Uh-huh.
So I posted a video earlier.
Speaking of the children.
Wait, what? She said, what? Did I ever share how a middle school teacher I ended up being behind? Wait,
oh, wow.
How you had ended up being behind the largest child porn. No. You did not tell us about this, Tiffany. You buried the lead. You're here every live. Didn't tell us anything.
Oh, actually, so when I worked at the orphanage, after I had left, we found out one guy who was there was behind a child pornography case. He was arrested, tried, knew the guy. It was very like, oh no. But often, you know, they're allowed in these spaces just because these spaces aren't well protected.
Yeah.
when it comes to the places
Right.
where it's because so few people want to work with kids. Their desire to work with kids, you know, they're
And
often
that, yeah,
allowed in.
the troubled teen industry, right? No oversight, no
Right.
professionals. They don't have
Right.
psychologists. They don't even have social
Mhm.
workers. They just hire people off the street.
Because who's gonna pay for that?
Nobody's gonna pay for that. So the troubled teen. I'm glad that Paris Hilton, speaks about it. Racist that she is, but she speaks out about it and has been a fierce advocate, for teens because this whole troubled teen thing. Again, I keep recommending the Unwind Dystology is really kind of rooted in this this troubled teen thing, this issue that we have. Like once the kids stop being cute and they become like thinking people who are developing their own personalities, all of a sudden we hate kids. There it is. Oh, wow. You're reading it. Undivided. That's not the first one, but that's good. I'm glad you have it there. We have all of them? Wow.
I have all of them.
All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this is impressive. Because did you get it because I recommended the Unwind? I did, and you went and got it.
Yeah.
Does he get a 1 for that?
I'm surrounded by books. I don't know if you could tell. I have many loaded books.
You have books. Wow. He gets a 1. Okay.
There we go.
You bounced back because that
There we
debacle a little bit while ago.
Katie, I'm back. Thank you, Katie. If I want to win anyone over at you.
Okay. All right. So
do this for Katie.
So let's talk about TikTok. Okay.
TikTok.
So TikTok
got the children in a chokehold.
Supreme Court just put them on the docket, I think, for 3 weeks. 3 weeks from now. Quick, right? Because they had
the federal Supreme Court. Oh no.
Yes.
TikTok might be out of here. The conservative Supreme Court, TikTok might be gone.
Listen,
those motherfuckers don't understand TikTok.
The 20th.
Oh no, Katie, I'm trying. I'm doing this for you.
Friends, she said it's all love.
I know. Then she said,
until you piss me off again. Right. Yeah, I get it. So there's only a month left for TikTok. So let's talk about that, right? So the 20th, right, is when they're done. They said you got to get out of here. And
out of here.
And they're fighting. They said unless you disconnect from the parent company, Binance, whatever the fuck it is.
ByteDance, yes.
ByteDance. Okay. I'm thinking Binance is the crypto. Okay. ByteDance.
Yeah, you're thinking of something else.
They're saying you have to get rid of that or you can't be here. And they're like citing that, it's a Chinese company, whatever.
Suddenly we're interested in Chinese companies. Chinese owns so much real estate in America right now. Like we were giving
and
real estate
Africa,
away.
and but again,
but let it the phone. Right. Right.
So what are we talking about?
Right.
I don't understand. So okay, right. So my theory. Okay, wait. Before we get to my theory, what do you think it is? Why do you think that the United States really wants to ban TikTok?
I don't know. I mean, I think they could always lean into the, we've given ourselves over to this Chinese company, but ultimately, I think it more has to do with our, how did this company come in? We have Facebook in our back pocket. We got all these other people in our back pocket. Don't let this other company come in and get the eyes and attention of our children. I think if you ask a average politician, that's what they'd say. That's why they say they're doing it.
Like they can control Meta, but they can control X, but they can't control. They can't control TikTok. Okay.
Yeah.
And some people think that it's like, the young people are being radicalized. Well, that doesn't make sense. Look what just happened. Like with Trump, right? So what are they being radicalized about? Oh, you didn't like that they were supporting Palestinians? Okay, whatever. But that didn't really amount to much because you're still helping to exterminate the Palestinians and they were voting for Trump. So what are you talking about? Like people were saying to me, that's like, the knowledge. I was like, no, that's nonsense because most of the shit on TikTok is nonsense, right?
It's mostly nonsense.
It's mostly nonsense.
The internet is not. The internet is nonsense. What are we talking?
The internet is nonsense. I read somebody say that the TikTok store in the United States generates $7 million in sales a day. Like that's out of this world, right?
Yeah.
So that means that there's people on there making money who are not actually working for them, being cogs in the machine.
Oh yeah,
that's the problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said.
Oh yeah, they make a lot of money. Okay, you said.
I said. My theory. Is that all these young people be on TikTok And that's how they generally communicate with each other. That's how they build community. But they could talk on all day. They'll be on each other's video in the comments section, going back and forth, back and forth. Everything is about TikTok, TikTok, TikTok. And they're spending their time in their bedrooms by themselves, right? So they've got this robust community online, but physically they're by themselves. And that does not do well for United States reproduction, which is already low, like one of the lowest rates it's been, right? The capitalist society needs workers. I think if you get rid of TikTok, you kind of force these young people to hang out with each other and to make friends again.
They don't have places to hang out at. Where are they supposed to
Well, so here, right. So that's where I think the next change is going to be. I think we're going to start to see more of the third spaces come back because they're realizing that their young people have nowhere to go. Because if they get rid of TikTok, they have no gathering place, right? So it's like they're going to get together. These maladjusted children are probably going to wreak havoc on society when they get together. Because when you look at the shit that they post on TikTok, I'm like, you people are out of your minds. You're kind of feral. You're definitely dangerous. So what's going to happen when they get together? They're going to, cause problems. So then they're going to have to bring those third spaces back and then put them in the, let them have that. But either way, they're going to hang out in each other's houses. They've got more liberal parents. Shout out to my son asking if his girlfriend can come over and spend the night on New Year's Eve. That was a real question that happened, everyone.
How are you feeling about that, Dr. T? You want to?
So we don't need. I'm not going to get on your couch right now, but I'm just saying.
I mean, we got time. We can make some time for you to process those.
Well, actually,
as a mother of an 18-year-old,
I don't know how I'm feeling about this.
You got some mixed feelings, I would imagine.
I thought that he was rather audacious to ask me.
I mean,
if his girlfriend could spend the night.
You're raising him to communicate openly with you about his thoughts and feelings, obviously. Otherwise, why would he take that step? So you're trying to raise him to use his voice.
Okay. So I hear you, but also, I'm just wondering, when did I give off the signal that it was okay to even ask me such a goddamn thing? What am I doing, Doc? Anyway, so they're okay with that. They think different because we as parents have become softies. How old are you, Doc? You're Gen X,
I am
right?
47. I am.
You're Gen X.
Yes, Gen X.
We had very different parenting.
Very different parents. Still couldn't. Yeah.
I'm just trying to imagine myself asking my mother, if the dude I was fucking could come spend the night at our house.
Right. While you're still in high school? While you're still in high school.
I said, where's she gonna sleep? And he just looked at me like, I said, where's she gonna sleep? Not in your bed.
Yeah.
In his mind.
It was look,
sleep in his bed.
Hey, yeah.
Let me know in the chat if your 18-year-old child comes to you, they're still in school, they ask you, can their significant other spend the night?
There are many parents who believe,
do you do?
That's okay.
Right. And here's the thing. I'm okay with sleepovers. I used to want him to have sleepovers. Young Gen Z.
Yeah.
They weren't having sleepovers. They didn't want to. I was like, nobody does sleepovers. I remember when we were young. I don't know about you. When I was young, getting an invitation to whatever sleepover was happening that weekend was a sign of everything. Like you were popular. You were
people liked
you. Got invited. You got invited to all the sleepovers. I'd say I got invited to half of them.
I got invited to a few.
But they don't do this now. And so I'm just kind of like,
I couldn't have imagined in high school.
That's gonna be a no for me.
My mother walked in on me and my girlfriend watching TV together and her laying on me, and she freaked out. And had a conversation with me why are you guys sitting like that? Are you
I get this
in my family room?
Listen, so I get this. I appreciate this because this is exactly where this is the other side of it for me.
Right.
It's how awesome is that he feels safe and comfortable with you to ask?
There you go.
My parents beat my ass. Right.
That's
what I'm saying. If I were to even form my mouth to say this to my mother, I'd be in next week.
Right.
She would have knocked me there.
You raised him differently.
gentle attachment parenting.
Yeah.
He feels safe enough and comfortable enough. And so that's the other
Look
side
at
for
you.
me. I'm like, all right, he's 18, she's 18, they're
Mhm.
legally adults.
You did
I
it.
already know what's going on.
Yeah.
I'd rather them be in a safe environment for New Year's
Right.
Eve.
Right. But do
And
you
I
sanction?
can monitor,
Yeah.
I can monitor and make sure that they're okay. They're not
Mhm.
outside running in the wild. It's a lot of danger out there,
Mhm.
I can do that. It's fine.
But do you sanction?
She sleeps in the guest bedroom though.
There you go. That's the compromise you decide to make.
That's the compromise.
Mhm.
I'm like, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Right. I couldn't even imagine asking, like, man, only if I was ready to stop living. Right.
Right. It's my last day on earth.
We have that response, Gen X and elder millennials. It's just like,
right.
You would ask that?
Yeah. You asked your mama if she could stay the night?
Right. They could be out sneaking around because I knew my parents would have beat my ass if they knew. Right. And so like we're moving away from beating our children's asses. Like we're moving away from that. We're moving into a space. So what I tell people all the time, I was an attachment parent. So back around, the early, right after the turn of the century, there was a lot of talk about attachment parenting. I think it's kind of morphed into what we call gentle parenting now, but it was attachment parenting, baby wearing, extended breastfeeding, extended co-sleeping. Like your children, like to this day, my kid knows if he wanted to come upstairs and get in my bed because he was scared or whatever it is, he could do that. Like you have that. My kid eventually, he was just like, I don't want to stay in the bed with you anymore, Mom. What it does is it creates a sense of security. You wear them with you. They feel secure. You let them do these things. You nurture them until they break free. And that creates a more independent child who eventually comes to trust you as a safe space. And it worked. I have to say that it worked with my kid.
There you go. So much that he could fix his mouth to ask you.
To ask if his motherfucking girlfriend could spend the night, but okay. So wait.
You did too good a job. You did too good a job.
Okay, so they have a question. Dr. Hall, I have the same question as Dr. T. I'm not a parent, but a first child, older sibling. Sometimes I think, what made you feel safe to ask me this question, which I never have asked, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Because you did such a good job, and they don't have the same frame of reference. So while you have within you a fear of what you can and cannot ask your mom, he does not have that in the same way.
He doesn't have that.
There are questions he doesn't ask, but not about that. Like, hey, I mean, come on.
He can come to me like.
Right. Also, you're Dr. T. You speak openly about these things, openly about sexuality, about all these things on the internet, right? Have written about it. So why wouldn't he be able to go to his mom and be like, hey, so my girlfriend know, because she stayed the night on January 1st. And we just start 2025 with this happening in your house. Let's just start the year off right for me.
Okay, this has nothing to do with politics, y'all, but so Melissa. So I didn't have to. His sister had a baby when she was 14 and he was 12. And I think that did it. He's talked about that. I love my baby girl. I love her to death. Like she's brilliant. She's got two kids, great mother, works hard, like that's my stepdaughter, even though me and her dad are not together, I'm gonna love her forever. So, but she did have her first baby early. And my son became an uncle at age 12. And there was just something he would say to me like, yo, like, I don't want to do this. This is a lot. I don't want to do this just yet. He's like, maybe someday.
That's sort of one of the mixed bag of the way we parent now. Like kids, young adults aren't often exposed to babies in the same way because families are so separated. So it's like they think of the sex thing without thinking this is a responsibility attached. Right. Hey, kidda, come on, I'm doing okay. So am I don't know.
You're okay.
I don't know. Doing okay.
No, but that's real.
But no, so the idea that so because they're so far removed from the responsibility of raising children, they don't recognize like, oh, if I go do this adult thing, I'm now entering into this adult contract to take care of this responsibility forever. And that isn't always the case, but I think in some ways, in particularly a more modern version of our society, younger people were having like if you go back 40 years or more, like they just, now you're a parent, go off and do your thing, right? Like nowadays it's a different kind of responsibility, and with contraceptives and other things, they can kind of do the adult dance without having the adult consequences come back on them.
All right, let's pivot because I got a couple other
Pivot.
things. We've been
Yeah,
here for a minute. All right, so I want to show.
How many more
this.
things are on the docket?
Leave me alone.
You got a whole
here we
docket.
go. Look.
Oh, wait, did they get rid of Chinatown? Oh. The power of the state. Protect the interest of those with money.
Okay, so
They about to get rid of Chinatown. They totally.
So, for those who are not aware, there's been a battle in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia 76ers, the basketball team, wants to build a stadium in the city, downtown.
Gentrification.
It's in a section called Market East. And it's right adjacent to Chinatown, kind of infringing on Chinatown a bit. Philadelphia's Chinatown is a thriving community. I go down there all the time. Like, love the shops and stuff down there. The people are really nice. Great food, great services. I get plants on the cheap. Great area. They want to put the stadium downtown, right? Because the last brilliant idea they had, there's this mall called the Gallery. If you old school Philly, when I was an undergrad and here at Penn, we would go to the Gallery. Now it's called Fashion District. They wanted to redo this mall and bring in all these like high level stores. They couldn't do that because what people don't understand, a lot of people don't understand, is that some of these high level stores like Nordstrom and Saks and things like that have these clauses that they will not go into malls unless there are other high level brands there already, because they want to keep up, kind of that whole
appearances.
Echelon, the appearances and things like that. So Saks is not going to come if it's going to be next to an H&M, right? And so they were unable to get contracts with these high-end stores, right? So when you go in there, you still have the same old stores, right? And half the damn mall is empty because they can't attract these businesses to come into this mall. And it's falling back and moving back towards being like the old gutted out Gallery that it was. So that was a waste of money. It was a whole waste of money. It was not well planned. The 76ers are coming in and saying, we want to take over this. We want to build our stadium here. But in order for us to build our stadium, which is a couple of blocks from the goddamn convention center, again, makes no sense to me. They want to build this whole area. Now, it's right at Chinatown. Okay, so Market East, not many people live there because it's mostly like businesses, stores, shopping area, whatever. But Chinatown is right there. And this would infringe on them. So Save Chinatown has been this grassroots, effort to resist this. Mayor Sherelle Parker, first Black woman to be mayor of the city, first woman to be mayor of the city. Easily bought and sold. If you follow me on socials, I can't stand this woman. I can't stand nothing what she's talking about. She's a Republican. She's a Black Republican, Democrat clothing. I call her Erica Adams because she's just like New York's Eric Adams. Okay, they're the same person. She has been steadfast and doubled down, triple down, quadruple down. This stadium will be good for the people of Philadelphia. No, this stadium was good for your pockets. But here, the most offensive thing is that they estimated that there would be like $300 million worth of damage done to this community. What are you 76ers going to do to compensate the people of these communities, the displacement and destruction of businesses and all these things? They offered $50 million. And the city council was like, we got to vote on this because what is this? And so some of the people in city council were pushing back. and saying 50 million is not enough. We need more money. We need 300 million. They were adamant. 76ers came back and said, we'll give you 60. All this, the city council caved. Now, if you know Philly politics like I know Philly politics, is one of the most corrupt local governments in the country. Okay. They have this thing called councilmanic privilege here, where they basically just hand these positions off to whomever they want to hand them off to. That's what they do. I'm going to remove him from the stage because I don't know what he's doing over there. Oh, now you want to be back. Okay, I'll bring you back.
Sorry.
That was
My son walked in trying to get something for his video game. My apologies.
Oh, okay. I respect that. So the corruption is real. They all caved. They all got shit on each other. So you can never really go too far, too radical. And she was pushing that because she got paid. She got paid, and she promised those people, she promised the 76ers that she would deliver on this. Okay. And she did. And so what you just saw, the people protesting at the final, vote for it, because they're upset. They're upset that the council voted for it and that it's been approved. And this stadium is going to come down and destroy the entire downtown area of Philadelphia, and Chinatown is going to be harmful. There's also a major hospital, one of the only major hospitals in the area, aside from Temple Hospital, which is further north. They're like, how are we going to get our ambulances through?
Right.
You had so many different groups coming and saying, here's how this is going to harm us. The industries, the teachers were talking about it, the hospital workers, like everybody was like, this is how this is going to be harmful. They didn't care. So they didn't care at all.
What?
And so what happened?
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish your thought.
No, so we're in this situation now where people have been protesting. I went to a couple of protests myself. Like they've been fighting for this, and it doesn't matter. And what that does to people is one of two things. It either pushes people into a place of like apathy, because it's like we did all of this and none of it mattered. Or it radicalizes people, right? And so what I know about Philadelphia, it's going to radicalize people. And so what I know will end up happening is we're going to see a lot more violence and a lot more stuff flaring up around this. When they break the first ground, we're going to see vandalism. When, everything, every stage along this, we're going to see violent responses to it. And I'm not mad at it. They deserve it.
Yeah.
$60 million, that's 1/5 of what the damage that they're going to cost to the area. It's just nonsense. So whatever.
Yeah. No, I mean, they built these stadiums as these middle and upper class playgrounds. And often it means displacing people. We just had this happen where I am in Cincinnati. We just had this happen. They built a stadium in what was called the West End, still called the West End. And they're doing all this development over there, gentrifying it, because they built this soccer stadium over there. And there were so many protests about the displacement of an already disenfranchised people, right? The reason that usually people like the marginalized people are allowed to live in those areas is because it's the only place that we're allowed to live. And then some developer comes in with money and an idea. These teams come in and get tax breaks to build these elaborate stadiums that are supposed to help support the city and boost revenue and all that. Almost never does what it actually is supposed to do. It ends up with the city being on the hook for decades to pay for a thing. Team almost never is paying for it themselves. The money that they make is almost never being used. They're still a $1 million industry, but that money is not going back into the city directly. It goes to a bunch of other hands before it does. And once again, the poorest of people who live in those areas are the ones who are displaced. What is that? It's not manifest destiny. It's eminent domain.
Eminent domain.
Yeah. And I think it's always fascinating how when you want to solve a sports stadium problem, we got all the time and resources and money, but there are already issues in that area, but we're not going to fix those for the sake of the people who are still a significant, even if they live, they're still a significant part of the tax base. That's the trick that the rich pull.
I don't understand. They'll fix the roads, and they're gonna improve SEPTA, because
They
one
have
of the
to.
arguments is that, oh, you know, it's not going to cause congestion. People are going to take the public transportation. So now it's like, now SEPTA's on the hook. SEPTA's saying, we can't handle this.
Right.
Like they came forward
We
and
ain't
like,
getting a
we
dime
can't
for
handle
that.
this. We're not getting nothing. Where's the money that you're going to give to us for us to accommodate that?
Right.
That's not,
Right.
what are you talking about? You can't make this
Because we've
plans.
ignored the infrastructure of cities for so long.
Exactly, for so long.
We're almost never prepared for these upgrades.
Philadelphia, yes, and they're preparing for the World Cup. Yes, and yes. And so the part of the problem with Philadelphia is that we already have a public transportation issue. There's a city with 1.3 million people and only 2 train lines. We have a trolley system that only serves one part of the city. The bus, an unreliable bus system. I mean, the ways that people try to have to navigate the city takes up so much of their time every day. It's affecting their quality of life. I remember when I lived in Northeast Philly and I would drive from Northeast down to Temple. And it would, you know, in traffic, it'd take me like 45 minutes. But I would always pass people, especially like when I get up early to go to the gym. They're waiting at the bus at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning just so they can make it to work downtown, because the transit system is so messed up that all the stuff that you have to do to navigate can take people 2 hours. You've got young people traveling 2 hours just to go to school because we have school choice. And it just so happens that the best schools are not in the neighborhoods with the children that need them the most. So you can have somebody going from Northwest, from like Southwest going up to Northwest for a better school. That's 2 hours commute a day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So our transit system itself needs to be improved. They should not be thinking about it only because the stadium is coming, but because the people need it. I proposed a thing to the mayor when I was doing policy work. I showed how by adding a loop, because right now we have a train that goes up and a train that goes up and down and then across. I said by adding a loop, I said we can reduce poverty by 10% in 5 years. They were like, "Oh, that sounds good. We don't have the money."
That sounds like it costs a lot
Okay.
of money. There we go. That costs too much money.
Yeah.
We can't do
I
that.
said, all we need to do, we need to build a loop. And you
Look
can
at
make
you
it
trying to solve problems with money.
our problems. An L is easier to build than an underground train. So I had it figured out. I proposed a monorail system, quite frankly, but what do I know? So it is what it is. So that was that. And then finally, the last thing we'll talk about before we go, because it's just getting long. And then we'll take a vote because we're going to see what's happening.
Oh, wait, there's going to be a vote? Oh, no.
Yes. So the House passes defense bill, including attack on military families, transgender youth. For those who are unaware, the House of Representatives passed a version of the National Defense Authorization Act that would ban coverage for gender-affirming care for transgender youth whose parents are active duty military personnel. I'm reading this from ACLU. ACLU is opposing the final passage of the defense bill over the inclusion of this healthcare ban and scoring the vote. So listen. All the anti-trans stuff is related to the birth rate. Like, we know this. They are attacking trans people because they believe that if people are allowed to transition or to get gender affirming care, that they will not have children. They will not reproduce, despite all the trans people that reproduce and have children, whatever. That's their fear. And so they're attacking trans rights and access and just the right to live at every angle, because, here's the thing. So I was listening to a podcast that was talking about how abortion became an issue because abortion was not actually it was very popular when it happened. Like when Roe v. Wade came about, it was popular. It was an accepted thing. It was all good. And that somebody came in and flipped because they no longer could rely on segregation and civil rights issues for political gain. They flipped over and started focusing on abortion. And that's how abortion became the hot button topic that it is, because it was intentionally done that. Okay, boom. That's how I'm thinking about trans stuff, right?
Yes.
We have never in this country really had much issue with what used to be called transvestites, right? Nobody cared.
Nobody cared.
Somebody might be like, oh, that's funny, but nobody cared. These were things that we did not care about. We would see people so-called, as we used to call it, cross-dressing or whatever it was. We fine with our sissy boys and butch girls. Like we've we're, by and large, legislatively, right?
Yeah.
We've been fine.
Legislatively,
So
yeah.
it's been do what you gotta do. You might,
Just
have some
ignore it.
issues
Yeah.
around the way, but also there were plenty of communities who knew who the local trans person was and just let them live. It wasn't a big
Yeah.
fucking thing, right?
Right,
Cool.
right.
It's a thing now because of the birth rate decline. It's a thing
I mean,
now because the marriage rate decline. Because now
Yeah.
they're like, well, wait a minute, not enough people are getting married. So how do we start to attack that? How do we start to fix that? Low-hanging fruit, transgender people. We know that there are enough people who are grossed out by trans people, enough in the Christian fundamentalist stuff. We can tag that because we need to make workers. We can tag that, but also United States is broke, and I need people to know this as well. United States they ain't got no money. They need to save money any way they can. They will not save for defense. They will not cut defense. That is a understood rule. They're going to take the money everywhere else.
Just keep throwing that money in there.
Exactly. So as they attack trans people, then it becomes about money. It's just about money.
Yeah.
We need to save money here, here, and here. We can
That's
attack
what they'll
trans.
say.
They're the lowest of the low, and we can get enough people to agree, regardless of race, gender, class, that we don't like trans people. So taking things from them does not resonate with most people. They don't actually care.
Well, it does gin up a lot of like it gets a lot of people uncomfortable, and so it allows you to really become an issue that people like. Now they care about politics because they got to keep those people out of bathrooms, even though most bathrooms in this country are gender neutral.
Right.
but like, how dare, like the idea that they might be, and
that's what the door is right there for. The door to the stall is there for
security, and
this
privacy.
is not a glory hole.
Right.
I'm sorry.
You're not sorry.
I'm not.
But it's just very much it's very much an issue that you can get people uncomfortable enough. Just like with the abortion issue, right? Like you're losing ground with people, and you don't have a moral high ground. So you can pull out this issue that people will have an opinion about, and by virtue of that, get them to care about politics. So now they got to go down to, they're going down to schools and making sure that, like when we're at the point where we want to test genitalia to make sure nobody on the football team has the wrong genitalia. Like, wait, you do hear yourself, right? You're talking about checking kids' genitalia. Like, do you hear yourself? Like, for a second, like, slow down. Like, we would call you a pedophile in any other world where you said, I'm really passionate about making sure the genitalia on everybody's correct in my son's soccer team. Like, no, this is weird. We've gone to a weird place as a society. Now that we think this is the most important issue to talk about. And that was like, honestly, it was a what's the word, wedge issue for Trump. He was working the crowds with trans issues. Yeah, and it was very much
glory holes are real. I'm sorry, I've seen them, I've been to them, and possibly have participated. They exist. They're real.
Okay. So the idea that you could use it as a wedge issue.
Allegedly,
yeah. Or is the allegedly better?
Allegedly, I've done those things. What has happened?
You seem to have lived a life. We did used to lock up people who were obsessed with genitals. We used to think that was weird. Don't do that. Don't why are you so obsessed with kids' genitals? What are you doing? But now it's like we're talking about it in 2024, like it's like a real issue we need to care about. And the fact that people were like picking their president based on the fact that he would defend sports from transgender people is like, are you kidding me? Like, we have to solve issues with roads and bridges. Like, get a person who does that job.
First of all,
go ahead.
Trans people have been in sports
Like, sure, whatever.
There's trans people playing right now in professional sports, and we have no idea about it because it doesn't matter. Because who gives
doesn't matter?
Are you
just
good at what you're doing?
On the team,
like,
right?
That's it. Like, my God.
Can you
so
kick
many
the
of these
ball?
Sports don't need to be separated by boy, girl, any damn way.
Right.
I bet you if you start these kids playing fucking baseball and it's all together, they all play baseball or they all play softball, you're gonna see like equitable levels. Okay, they think, oh well, the guys train the girls the same way and see if they throw the ball the same speed. Like, come on, like if you train them together, you're training up like that's what the gladiators used to do. Like the old folks back in the ancient times and things like that, they trained together, men and women together. They did these things, but whatever.
Yes.
Who cares about
Well,
this?
the idea that we
Why
often
would
think
that
of gender as such a stalwart, like it's a solid concept,
Mhm.
when in reality, phenotype is weird. Genetics are weird. So there will be women stronger than the average man, and there will be men weaker than the average woman. Like that's just like it's not as solid a concept as we act like it is. Genitalia is not even as solid a concept. Y chromosomes are not as solid Y chromosomes are technically kind of being shaved off over time. Will we have one in 500 years? I don't know, but whatever, right? Estrogen's in the water.
This is the emoji right now that I'm thinking about. That emoji is one of my favorites. Right, gender ain't even real. It's not even a real thing. I actually
Gender's not even real.
I have a book chapter coming out where I talk about how there's no gender in the future, and in Afro future there's no gender, because that makes sense, right? The white man came up with this gender shit, right? You know, it's just nonsense. You know, it's right. Yeah, shout out to Cat Black. Transness is rare. It is, and it's just like there's absolutely no reason for people to be thinking. Like, again, all I'm saying is that we have had trans people amongst us forever, and it was never really a major issue. Like, people may say, oh, I don't like it, whatever, but they were not fighting these people like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And now all of a sudden it's a big
We
thing.
didn't need to legislate against it.
We didn't need to legislate, right? Okay, so it's whatever. So yeah, I think we got through the whole docket.
We did.
Oh, just one more thing. No, one more. We got to talk about it. So Georgia blocked Fannie Willis from the Trump election interference case. If you all have not been following along, in Georgia, in Fulton County, the DA brought charges. They filed charges against Trump for like election interference and tampering and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was the prosecutor, and then they pulled up some stuff on her and were just like, you are unethical, or you did something. Caught her with her boo, giving her boo money and all this kind of stuff like that.
Going on trips with her boo.
Going on trips, they put niggas in. I'm sorry, they put black people in high places, and they don't know how to act. And I'm like, why you always gotta act like this? But anyway, so
corruption.
She's been fighting that. They were appealing, they went to the appeals. It was a 3-judge panel, voted 2-1 to disqualify her. So she can no longer do this thing with Trump, which is fine. It's just they were prolonging all of this. Their efforts were to try to prolong everything until he was elected, so then that way he wouldn't have to face any of this. So all of this has been like delay tactics. It doesn't matter. She doesn't have to be the one to prosecute this. They just wanted to stop it, to do this and whatever, just to delay
across the threshold. Yep.
Right, because they have tons of DAs. They could have, you know what I mean? They could have had other lawyers in the DA's office that could have done this, right?
Right.
So it was all, again, political theater, smoke and mirrors. So they just were saying that she can't go forward. Okay, we'll put the next person on, keep going. Like, come on. So that's it. And that's it. That's the only thing I just want to update.
He can't get presidential immunity. So I do appreciate that.
So that also happened. Yeah.
So they have not dropped the cases.
He can't have immunity. Yeah, they can't. Yeah, he doesn't have immunity.
To me, it's an absurd, like, oh my God. Like, is justice in this country so broken? And I know it is. I do. But like, so you can commit federal crimes. And so long as you can convince American people that you should be the president, they'll just drop the crime. They'll be like, oh, sorry. We can't really like do the justice anymore. He's at the top like that. So that's how I get out of a federal crime or 30 federal hundreds of federal crimes. Wait.
I'm sorry. I'm listening. I'm looking in the chat. I didn't know somebody tried to kill Nick Fuentes. I'm like reading this shit like, what?
Wait, what happened?
Okay, so Nick Fuentes, we know that he's white supremacist, all this stuff like that. Okay. Far right provocateur Nick Fuentes says a would-be assassin came to kill him at his suburban home.
Oh wow.
His account aligns with a statement released by the Berlin police. Oh, wow. So let's see. He's saying, okay. Paywall. Fuck out of here. Here we go. Oh, wait, nope, that's not it. 2 hours ago. Oh, here we go. So it says the man was fatally shot by the police. Okay, so white nationalist Nick Fuentes said an armed individual approached his house Wednesday night after his Illinois home address was leaked on the internet. I'm here. I don't like people being doxxed, but I'm glad he got doxxed. They responded to his home at 11:38 local time Wednesday. Report of a male subject with a gun successfully escaped. The man fled the neighbors. The man began shooting at the officers who returned fire. They killed him or whatever. The man was wanted for triple homicide in Mahoma, Illinois earlier that day on Wednesday. They did not name him Fuentes, but they know that's who it is. He says he's grateful to God that he's still alive. He showed the video. Oh, he posted the surveillance video of it, of course. It became content.
Yeah, you know. He was
to show the man wielding a crossbow and a gun. We don't know. We sure this wasn't Nick Cage. All right. He said, while heartbreaking, it could have been unimaginably worse. My God, mercy. God have mercy. Doxing is not a game. Oh. Okay. You're a white supremacist. That's what happened. Somebody had a crossbow. They had a crossbow. And I'm so sad. I'm gonna go watch paint dry. But anyway, thank you all so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. We are going to do a real quick vote right now. If you're in the chat, even if you haven't spoken all night, put a 1 in the chat if you think he should be regularly involved in this. Put a 2 if you think we need some more time to see what he's capable of. Okay? Just let me know. Did he freeze? I think he froze. Let me remove him. Remove him. He froze. 1 if you think he could be folded in. 2 if you think he might need some more practice. Okay, I can bring you back now. You were frozen. So
I had internet problems. Yeah, no, my internet crashed and then restarted, and I was.
So how regular is regular? I don't know. How regular is regular? Maybe once a month.
Once a month will do.
What about
I'm not here to take over or anything. I'm not here to make the show my own. I have my own show that I should be producing that I don't. Thanks, Mo. I appreciate it. Hey, speak your truth out there. Speak your truth. You'll never want to see this face again. You don't have to. Oh, Fibbity's wow. Host of the show threw me out. I didn't see the bus. If it's once a month, then one. Thanks, Maxine. Thanks. Didn't see the bus. I think it was the number 2 bus that hit me.
You're only here because that one time you saved my butt on the show. And they said that they wanted to see more of you. I'm doing this against my will.
The time that you abandoned me on the show because you were too high to remember you were doing a show. And you just walked away.
Where did the extra sauce come from? They said you was going to bring that up. I want to know where the extra sauce is coming from because it wasn't about me being high. I went to get some food. And I came back
while you were streaming.
I was hungry. That was a 6-hour show. Y'all remember I streamed.
You'd been streaming for a long time. Yes, I would agree.
I had been streaming for like 4 hours at that point.
Yes.
Come on, I was hungry.
You did need a break.
I needed a break.
And I handled the break.
My God.
Yeah, that's all. You deserve the break. And I'm glad I could provide some entertainment for your guests while you went away for an extended period of time. I did not know how long you'd be gone. And I just carried the show. And, now we're here doing this together. Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Let me read these numbers again.
Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Who'd have thought?
Not me.
Not me. There's a lot of ones.
A lot of ones. Hey, they like the kid. What can you say?
This one is
I think I won the audience. That's the most important one. The one I had to sway, the one vote I have to actually get is that one. If I don't get that one, Katie, come on. Come on, Katie. We were friends. I thought I'd won you over. I got 2 on my high horse. There's some 2s. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks. I'm going to go do my own show. Join me on political theater. You don't have to worry about me again.
All right, y'all. No, this was fun. I have thoroughly vetted Dr. Richie Hall, and I have invited him to join me as
on occasion
a rotating guest. Yeah.
Yes.
Not every show, not every time, every time. No,
I don't have time for that. I got a life and a full business I run and whatnot.
So you're saying that we don't have lives? That's not,
oh wow.
Why we're
okay
here? Because I kind of heard that. You're like, no, I can't do every time. I have a life.
Well, Dr. T, you do go live at
we
random
don't have
times.
Lives?
I don't know that I could track as often as you go live.
I think I heard him say.
I get alerts at random times. I got a life. Am I going down? No, that was not shade at all. Jeez, guys. I am too good for this show. I'm glad someone said it.
He's getting real Trump with it, ain't he?
Wow, Trump with it. That's saying something. There it is. For a second. No, do not. So long as we don't do a revote, I think I'm good. No revote. No hanging chads. We're just gonna.
So, yes.
Yeah.
We will probably have Dr. Hall pop on once or twice a month.
Sure.
When he can fit us in.
Well, I can fit you into my busy schedule.
I actually send me your Calendly link and I
will
fit us in.
I'll send it your way.
The whole community will fit in and we'll work around your schedule.
Yes, no, please. Make sure. But my people are called your people. We'll work something out.
Anyway, y'all, I've
be a contract or something.
This I've gotten to know this.
Has many leather-bound books.
We talk a lot. He's very smart. I do respect his work. I like that he's providing mental health services. I do share some of the stuff that he does on socials because I have people that are all over the country, and so I really do love what he's doing. So I like he's funny. And
like a few times I derailed
I think that having a guy
sometimes a man don't keep it in. This is what happens when you're nice to men. We get all egotistical about it. We think we have to be there. I don't know if anyone's mansplained it to you ladies, but if I could for a moment here, what this show really needed was a man. Political theater with Dr. T really needed a man.
Man, no. You can say goodbye to people, but no. You can say goodbye. Get off my show. Put a 2 in the chat.
It's been fun. It's been fun, guys. I'm having a great time.
I don't know if you're coming back.
Thank you for letting me on. I have appreciated the opportunity so much, and it's been fun hanging with you and kicking it with your audience. They're a good time, and I apologize for being a man. I can't help I was born this way. So there we go. Bye, Katie.
All right, bye. Thank you all very, very much. If you enjoyed your time here, definitely, if you want to leave a tip, that's cool. And if not, just share this, let people know that I'm here. Subscribe to the channel if this is your first time watching and tuning in. Hit that like button. When you subscribe, you get notifications for when I go live. So I'm going to try to be more regular. A lot has happened, obviously, this year. Those who have been following along, I have been through quite a bit this year. I'm hoping that in the new year, things will improve. But I'll be here more often. We have an inauguration that we're preparing for. We have an entire Trump presidency to cover. We're going to do this together. As I said, in community, we are going to do this together. We are going to be here for each other. Nobody has to deal with this by themselves. I love you all so very much, and I really, really appreciate you for all the support that you continue to pour out towards me. Whether you send me $100 or 100 smiles, they hit the same, and I need that love. I need that energy, and I appreciate you so much. Be good to each other. Find community, build community, strengthen community. Next time I see y'all, we'll be back again. I love y'all. Take care.